just because the king here is turning out to be a bit of a dud doesn't mean to say that our political system of constitutional monarchy is bad. I mean, just look at Joe Biden. He's mentally incompetent and should never have been president in the first place. However, that doesn't mean that the entire American political system has to be junked. It just means there's something gone wrong that needs fixing. I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. So first of all, let's just remember what the king is. He is the figurehead of the country, but he is advised on what he should say in any political context by his government. And his government, run by Sir Keir Starmer, is telling him and the newspapers of the sort of story they are supposed to peddle about the civil unrest. I am not speaking for burning people, turning over cars, throwing rocks, or indeed throwing any missiles. No, that's not good. But Starmer is not differentiating between criminal action and the righteously angry people who know they are not getting what they voted for. And yeah, some of them did vote. They say only 30% of the people voted. Yeah, but 30% of the people did vote. And I'm quite sure this is not what most of them actually voted for. King Charles tells Prime Minister Keir Starmer he is encouraged by the way Britain's compassionate community spirit has countered the aggression and criminality from racist thugs who rioted after the Southport stabbings. So they're racist thugs and all the rest of it, and that's what the Mail is saying, for which I think the Mail will ultimately suffer, and that's what the king is saying, and I believe he'll suffer for that as well. But you see, Starmer knows that. He knows that this will not make the king popular. But that's win-win so far as he's concerned, because he's a communist. He wants to do away with the king because he wants to put in place a communist system where all the politicians are nominated by the ruling party. And yeah, I mean, if you want one horrific idea, just think of the words President Starmer. So King Charles spoke warmly of the many examples of community spirit that have thwarted attempts to instill hate and fear in communities across Britain. You know, when the troubles started, I did think, the king should be up there visiting people. But he wasn't. And that's why I say he's a bit of a dud. He should be taking the part of his people. And what he is taking the part of is his government. And I think he's making a mistake there. Again, I'm saying that doesn't mean to say he should be completely ditched, because, well, what would we put in his place? We have the constitutional monarchy system is pretty good when we have a reasonable monarch in charge. Unfortunately, this isn't a reasonable monarch, but then the presidential system is pretty good too, if there's a reasonable man there being president. And saying not my king or not my president doesn't actually achieve very much. There's a lot in British common law which is extremely valuable. People like Starmer who is wrecking that. That doesn't mean to say it's wrong. It means that Starmer's wrong. And just as a sort of indicator of that, This is from yesterday's Telegraph. You will be refused bail even if you only watched riots from the sidelines, judge warns. Cameron Armstrong, 18. So an 18-year-old kid was charged with rioting in the Conswater area of East Belfast, which saw violent disorder, petrol bombs, fireworks and different projectiles thrown at police. So it wasn't very nice. Armstrong's solicitor said that his client had never come to the attention of the police before, adding that while he admitted he was on the periphery of the scene, he denied being involved in any of the disorder. So his 18-year-old kid wanted to see what was going on. He got sentenced to jail and refused bail, and was told by the judge, even if you're standing on the sidelines, you're going to jail for this sort of riotous behaviour. So, yeah, fine. If that's the case, that's the case. Then what about this? This is a so-called counter-protest. This fellow here, Councillor Ricky Jones, has been arrested for inciting to murder. But the people around him have, as so far as I know, not been arrested. There's a woman here with an Amnesty International vest on. Let's hear what this fellow has to say. It might not have been so easy for you to understand what he said, and the subtitles are not being strictly accurate. So I'll just go through it with you again. Here he says, they are disgusting Nazi fascists. That's missing there. And then he said, we need to cut all their throats and get rid of them. Cut all their throats and get rid of them all. And just look at that indulgent, wonderful, blissful smile of this woman here. And the other lady with the Amnesty jacket on, she's holding the refugees welcome, so she's having to pat her hand like that. And all these guys are around it. Only that woman there is looking a little bit doubtful. The rest of them are fully participating. And then, of course, it ends, as usual, with a Nazi salute. So he goes into the chorus of Free Palestine. Free Palestine, Nazi salute. And they're all joining in the chorus, you see. And look how happy that woman is. And what I want to know, why are they not in jail as well as this poor 18-year-old kid who just wanted to see what was going on by the looks of things? And if anyone wants to discuss with me the idea that two-tier policing doesn't exist, perhaps we might use this as a little discussion point, should we? Maybe His Majesty would like to talk about the compassionate community spirit that's been taking over people like this. All of them. All of them. This smash fascism and racism. Applaud the Nazi salute. And that's our king talking about compassionate community spirit. I mentioned to one of my correspondents this morning that, I'm feeling a little better today. As you can hear, my throat's a bit scratchy. But I said to him, maybe it's not COVID I'm coming down with at all. Maybe it's just that my heart is breaking. Till next time. You can help my channel by clicking like, by subscribing, by clicking the notification bell, and by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels are in the description, also links to donation sites, but really the best way you can help me is simply by clicking like. Thank you.